Hello and welcome to the June 2026 production audio wrap-up. I am Peter Schneider and I am here in the studio with Nick Huston.
That's Nick with a K.
Nick Huston.
With a K, okay.
And in Atlanta, TK Edmondson. How's everybody doing?
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings. So this is our sports talk episode, right?
That's right. All sports, all the time.
Yeah, so the Knicks won. TK's got his, what do you call that again?
This is a kit, day 19 of wearing kit every day of the 2026 World Cup.
How many kits do you have?
Over 25 at least.
Oh, okay.
I can almost get through a month of just...
Wow.
Kitted out.
Well said.
What is today's kit?
This is a throwback England jersey. I've got not Ashley Cole, but Frank Lampard on the back. Fantastic record-setting midfielder from the golden generation that never won anything.
Cool.
I have no idea what that
Never
means.
won anything?
Never won anything. At least, as a country.
Oh, I see. They didn't win the World Cup, is what you mean.
Correct.
I see.
Yeah, it might still be coming home, but for now, 1966 is all we got.
Well, let's face it. It was all downhill after they lost America.
Pretty much.
250 years ago. Yeah. Well, so here in New York, we had the Knicks win. We had a Sanken event the night of their big comeback game, which you and I watched kind of the very end.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing. Yeah, that was cool.
But we had we'll get to this later. Actually, we'll get to this next. So Sanken announced showed off their new CU-M2, which is their cardioid unidirectional condenser mic, very tiny, 3 inches, and their COS 7D, which is their shorter lavalier with thin wire and graduated high frequencies. So we had a little event here, and we were going to have some drinks at Pig Beach, which turned out that was one of the biggest watch parties for the Knicks games in the city.
Every World Cup game is nuts, and the Knicks playoffs is nuts in this neighborhood. Like at night, this neighborhood has a totally different personality. It's
right?
wild.
Yeah. Mild-mannered sound
right.
sales and rental facility by day. By night, World Cup and basketball enthusiasts.
Seemingly, but yeah.
Yeah, we were here until like 11 o'clock at night, and we could hear the screams every time something good would happen for the Knicks. Or bad. There were cries of anguish and cries of joy.
It was good screams to hear.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. So anyway, on to audio news. So
yes.
The Sanken mics that we talked about, these are expected to start shipping in September. So pricing is TBD, but it's going to be, similar to what the COS 11 is and similar to what the CSM1 is. Jim Pace from Plus 24, the Sanken distributor, came in to show them off, and we made a video talking about all sorts of stuff, but we also recorded the ISO tracks in 32-bit float. So you can hear them and compare them with a COS 11 and just see how you feel about it. So if those mics will be right for you. And I did do a test with them.
Yeah.
I did a reunion job. They're good sounding mics. It sounds very similar to the COS 11 to my ears.
Mm-hmm.
So if, might be the right fit for you.
COS 11 is forever the standard.
Yep.
It's wild. Like that was the go-to mic when I was mixing 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And so to have a replacement is pretty amazing. And then you should take a minute to tell people about these jobs you do. You didn't just get to hear them. You heard them through like a big broadcast console and speakers. And what do you do?
Sure. Last week we were recording the reunion for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Shout out to TK, which I've been doing for 16 seasons, which is wild to me. I started in season 2. And there's almost no original cast members on it anymore. But it's changed from we used to do fly packs at the Biltmore Ballroom in Atlanta and, go down there. And honestly, I miss those days because they were fun and long, and it was nice to travel down to Atlanta. But now we record them in a studio in New York, all mobile video. The team there is fantastic, especially the audio engineer, Tom, is a wizard. And we have a Studer Vista 9 console that we do it with, and they have Shure Axient, and we bring in different mic heads because they're usually square, and we like to hide them. We do all that. It's it's a rocking good time.
Cool.
Yeah, we can do another video on that sometime as well because
We should next time see if that'd be interesting to show everybody. I'd be interested.
Sure, yeah. The funny thing is I also do the summer house reunions, and that one was so charged that they made everybody start or put a sticker over the video cameras of their phones to make sure that nothing was leaked. And of course something was leaked. It wasn't me, I promise. It wasn't leaked. So now we do that on every reunion. So I could certainly do, I could probably do a video about the setup on the setup day, if that's something people are interested in.
Cool. What else do we have? Oh, the Lectro S1 mic. It's a lightweight supercardioid shotgun microphone. Pre-orders now open. Expected to ship in late 2026. Bold choice for Lectrosonics to come out with a hardwired shotgun mic. What do you think?
I think we're seeing like a little bit of like the reverse. Since they've been acquired by Rode, it's the Rode would typically come out with microphones, and Lectrosonics would have wireless stuff. So I feel like now we're seeing the reverse of the injection of each of their specific technologies. So my hope is that it's a good mic. Has anyone actually have a chance to hear it?
I did not. It was at the Gotham Expo and people were listening to it. Listening at NAB would have been a lost leader because of how noisy that environment is. So once we have one here, maybe we'll do another video where we do a side by side between something we know and love and record it in 32-bit and post it. But the proof will be in the pudding. It's blue.
Yeah.
Look, yes, I agree with everything, and I gotta say, if Lectro is coming out with it, then it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
A little bit more from Lectrosonics. They have some summer savings, so if you would like to save around $600 with 10% off on select transmitters, receivers, and accessories from the Venue 2, D2, or the Duet lineup, as well as the L wireless series. So any one of those series, you can get $600, around 10% off on those. And you do not critically have to buy a bundle for the savings. So if you just want to a la carte this and just kind of fill a gap within your kit, now is a really good time to do that. So the summer savings from Lectrosonics, check out those options.
Wow, that's good for IFB too, and I see the whole
the
across the
M2.
line.
The Duet.
All right, so Sound Devices had some announcements. So first is that the Astro Mini Plus transmitter is officially in pre-order and is expected to start shipping any day. As a recording of this video is expected to ship late June. It is officially late June while we're recording this, releasing in early July. So they may be on their way to their first users right now. As with anything in pre-order, we have no idea how many we're going to get in the first batch. So, if you want something quick, put your order in sooner rather than later. Price, I believe, is $27.95, and then we have the pre-order up on the website. So we take a small deposit, and then we apply that to the balance once it's ready to ship. The Power Station Cell multi-battery charger is now available, now shipping. We have at least one in stock here in New York. There are a couple of different kits. There's the charger itself, which needs a USB-C power supply. There is a kit that includes the USB-C power supply. There's a kit that includes 3 of the chargers with power supplies. And there's also the rack mount. There's a whole bunch of accessories. So check out the website. And then there is the Astral Guitar Box, which connects to the ARX16 or ARX32. It's got balanced outputs for guitar amps and pedals. So, it's if you are using Sound Devices Astral for guitars and things like that, this is a very powerful and unique gizmo.
Yeah, I have to say, it took us a little while to figure out during rehearsal what this actually does. But once we got it, I imagine that there's a lot of guitar techs and guitar players that are very happy about this arrangement.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's remote controllable, we figured out?
It's remote controllable, I believe, but it also has, what is it, AES 4.2 on it. So that
72.
72. Gosh, when will it end? But yeah, it's got a bunch of different features that make it interesting for that specific use case. So anyway, if you need that, it's pretty cool. I think it's $500.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see how this gets adapted to the live touring world, because a lot of the handhelds are out and about. If you're looking, you'll see them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Zoom F8N Pro Recorder has seen a substantial price drop from $999 to $699. That is no joke. That's
30% off.
I'm no mathematician, but I think that's 3,000% off.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a good mathematician.
Decimal.
It's substantial. It's nice to see prices going down with with the prices of memory these days.
My assumption, this is purely speculation, is that this is a harbinger of potentially the F8N Pro being replaced by something else.
Did you just call it the F8N Bro?
That might be the new one.
Hey, listen, the Zoom F8N Pro was the recorder used to record the Academy Award-winning for Best Picture movie Anora.
Yeah, 32-bit float.
Yep.
On that, bro.
All right, we've got new firmware coming in from Club Cantar. So if you are one of the lucky owners, honestly, Cantar machines are fantastic devices to use on set. But so if you're in the Club Cantar, for the Cantar X3, Cantar Mini, and the Cantar S, this will add compatibility with the VDB Audio Finger Control Surface, the FCS, and it also adds firmware rollback function. So nice little features to have there. You must have an active Club Cantar subscription in order to use this firmware. So that is the caveat here. So if you do not have the subscription, join the community of other Cantar users, and then you would have availability to get these firmware updates. And this is nice. So hopefully there's kind of more coming down the pipeline if they're offering some sort of firmware update.
Yeah, wild the kind of access they've been able to get after kind of a couple years of having difficulty figuring out who even bought the rights to the Cantar, and now that they have
talk to
right now they have the source code and they can making changes and whatnot, and adding the finger control. Now you can have a French fader control that's not the Cantar S or the Cantar M, and working with your X3. And I really like the finger control surface in terms of like the value for what it does. It's pretty dang good. New stuff from Allen and Heath. It's the SQ Plus mixers. So this is the SQ5, 6, 7, all available with a plus at the end. Basically, it adds a larger interface and a Rack Ultra FX processing with expanded processing power.
Yeah, it was nice to see Dane Lonsdale here. Shout out to Dane. Checking it out. The screen is beautiful. The expanded processing, I don't know if we got into it that much. It was certainly nice to see there was no limits anymore. But yeah, I mean, it's such a powerful mixer. And if you have the kind of cart and the kind of workflow that accommodates it, it really opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah, and that's what was used on West Side Story, right? It was the SQ5 original.
Todd Maitland and Dane had one, the original one. Yeah, SQ5. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I got to see a sneak peek of this at NAB, and it's pretty cool. It's Pliant Technologies CrewCom Flex. And basically the idea is that you have a kind of frameless matrix IP-based intercom. So, there's no longer like a dedicated server or box that you need. Every component has the bits that it needs to know about and how to interact with the other bits. So it's very, very, it's a very modern architecture. Distributed architecture with panel functioning as its own matrix to remove failure points and add scalability. That bullet point is correct, but really to see it in action and to see all the bits kind of seamlessly interconnect with all the other bits is very cool, including there is a cloud component, so you can route out to the internet, and an app, of course. So keep your eye on this. Officially launches mid-July.
Let's polarize this, and it's the Mag Rig from Oisphoot. Sorry if I butchered that, but the point is, this is a very, very nice tool to have in the kit. From the makers of the Cup Rig, if you are familiar with that. They've also got the Dual Y1, quite a favorite of mine. 2-for-1, who doesn't like that? This is built to magnetize against a metal surface and mount a microphone at 3/8 on. You can adapt it if you've got a different adaptation for your microphone. But yeah, you could pretty much stick this anywhere. So I'm a big fan of magnet mounts. I like to throw them on my boom pole, stick it somewhere if I can't be in a shot. So any tool you can use like this, where you could just click, clank, boom, bing, ding. Hey, more power to you.
Yeah, $45 on the website. We have them in stock. So
It's cool. There's so many industrial areas that you shoot in. Just being able to stick. We've done it with Wi-Fi access points and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's those magnets. What a physics concept.
So next up, we're talking about the Soundworx QuickBag. So this is an attachment plate system to attach harnesses and the K-Tech Stingray sound bags. So to be able to take the bag on and off very quickly without having to unclip. Mm-hmm. These are made by good friend and sound mixer of Gotham, or good friend of Gotham and sound mixer.
Yes.
There we go, Jeff Delorier. So Jeff is making these by hand. So if you are interested in finding out more about the system, give Jeff, drop him a line and see what's going on. He'd buy him direct.
Congrats, Jeff.
Congrats, Jeff.
Netgear announced their Align controller at Infocom. It's pretty cool. It's basically an open platform for AV networks. It includes 2110 and PTP. Great for studio installs. It is really nice to see Netgear in this space. Sort of being like in the master IP clock space. Very cool. Netgear routers now conditionally FCC approved. I don't know if anybody's up on that whole mishigas, but FCC has, they're worried about rogue firmware kind of phoning home to foreign nations. And so they're cracking down on a lot of foreign-made routers, but I think Netgear just had a bunch of their stuff approved. So anyways, check out Netgear. We love their AV line. This just continues it. So nice stuff.
All right, next up is DSpecialists Harvey. This is going to be a customizable audio media control matrix system. Think of it like a central hub for like an install studio scenario. It's got a composer software for interface configuration, so just pull up your laptop, boom, bang, bing. It's got the Harvey Pro Rack, is essentially acting as the control center. As I said, it's got 32 analog audio channel inputs. You've got Dante, you've got AES, all able to interface with each other. There's an optional programmable Ethernet-based wall panel, so you can have that as a separate install for a controller, for installations. Looks very, very, very tactical, so satisfying with the click, I hope. And yeah, this is now being distributed with Syntax down in Florida. So if you got an install need where 32 channels of audio, Dante and AES is kind of what you're jamming, this might be your jelly.
Ooh,
Nice.
I like jelly. So new from RME, we've got the ADI 2 Pro EX. It's a PCM DSD 768 kilohertz A to D and D to A converter. It's got an upgraded chassis, more headphone output power, and better power protection. Shipping in July.
Do we have pricing on one of these? This might be something I need to get.
Check the website, TK.
RME stuff is so
right.
reliable.
Yeah.
It really is, though.
Yep.
But that would be a great tool to, if you're, just want to have a master take two inputs right back into the computer. It's going to sound pristine with that DSD. But yeah, speaking of kind of that family, AppSys has got a new ProAudio box, new switchable boards for their Flexiverter conversion box announced here. So if you've got MADI or SFP or coax, both sample rate conversions are available. It's available for Ravina with or without sample rate conversion. So take it how you need it. If you've got a mat with other people or you don't, you've got the option now. But this is coming soon from AppSys, their ProAudio card. So check that out.
Did you know we did a video with the owner of AppSys?
No, it may be pretty old. I don't know.
It's very old.
Does Jared remember?
Jared,
Is it filmed on VHS?
it was, yeah. We streamed live via paperclip and tin can.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. He was the guy that revealed that he knew all the car manufacturers were cheating on their emissions test. Do you know about this scandal?
I do remember that scandal. I didn't know it was all the car manufacturers.
Well, because I think
Volkswagen for sure.
Yeah, it was Volkswagen, but then we were talking about it because that was his day job at the time, and he said, "Oh well, some other manufacturer does it too." And I think we were live, And I was like, "Oh, do you mean to say that?" He's like, whatever. And then like a month later, it came out that some other European manufacturer was doing it too. Yeah. I love the stories of like how people ended up in this business and what they did for their day job. So yeah, he wrote the code for embedded audio electronics of German Euro car manufacturers.
Wow.
Yeah. Turtle AV, they're a cool company. Speaking of where people come from, their origin story is somehow related to Bird Dog, the AV company in Australia. But yeah, they have their Dante Audio Video A, which combines 4 4K network video streams into a fully customizable multi-view display. I think this is interesting for a couple of reasons. I like Turtle AV as a company. They have really cool Dante audio interfaces.
They're mint green.
And they're mint green, and they're bulletproof. We have them. We use them. We've sold them. And then also it's nice to see Dante AV products out in the world. You know, the video, Dante has a whole video side to it.
This past weekend, Gotham Sound was proud to support the New York City Pride Parade. Here to talk about it is the chief supporter of Pride at Gotham, Nate.
So we have been partnered with a Heritage of Pride for the past 2 years. They're the organization that helps contribute to the historic monuments down by Stonewall and preserves that. They run a 2-day-long fest that has the need for some walkies. But most importantly, they also have the Pride March, which is a long route that goes from pretty much like the Flatiron District all the way down to like lower Manhattan, Chelsea area. And it's like a big kind of V-shaped route where it goes really low and then swings back up. In years past, their radio vendors have used a series of repeaters and antennas and things like that. And when they reached out, they had a horrible experience with antennas like sticking out windows to try to keep that keep that two-way radio connection through their entire, route. And when they reached out to us, I thought it would be great to try to find a cellular solution and expand that range to something like that. So we've facilitated a cellular radio package with a sub rental. I'd like to give a shout out to Golden State Communications out in California. Yeah, they've done incredible work. We're super easy to work with and provided a perfect sub rental with all the programming that we needed to help execute that. And then I'd also like to give a huge shout out to our very own Melissa Trott and Jordan from the rentals team. If you've ever been to Gotham Sound, you know both those people. And if you've ever rented anything, it's probably touched Jordan's hands. And they were there on site with me in the rat-filled streets of New York, handing out radios and making sure everything came back at the end of the day. So that was a really fun thing.
Amazing. And so these were push to talk over cellular.
That's correct.
And so they looked like regular walkie-talkies, more or less. They're Motorola units.
Yes, they're Motorola TLK 100s specifically.
All right.
The reason I chose to do cellular for this job was because previously, in years past, they were like, well, when the radios don't end up working, because they never do on our route, because the antenna, will sometimes get out of range or a repeater will shut off and we don't know about it until after. Their backup plan has always been using WhatsApp to just communicate and make calls. And I'm like, well, if you guys are using WhatsApp, that's going to drain a lot more cellular and have a lot more need than, say, a cellular walkie. So it's a relatively small team, too, all things considered.
Cool. That's great. Wow, well done. That's a great solution. That's perfect. Yeah, and they had coverage on the whole route, and the crowds didn't affect the cell coverage at all, and that's cool.
And a big part of this partnership allows us to be an official sponsor for the event, which I think is a really great partnership.
Yeah. And
it really, really was a step up from the service we provided last year. And I'm excited to see where we go next year because the needs changed drastically. My job on site was actually dispatching. So they had me up in the Boys Club of New York City on 18th Street on the 7th floor overlooking the parade route. And I had open channels Me and a emergency medical response type guy were there on standby. His name was Nick Edwards. Shout out to him as well. He really made this dispatch thing come together where we were monitoring all 7 channels. And if there was a call on, let's say, the route team to formation, we would be the one relaying the message across channels. But we were also making an active log of all of the needs that popped up, of all the security issues that occurred. There's acts of protest that go on. There's needs for water and medical emergencies all throughout the entire march. And so we took a log of all of those. So that way next year they know when do we need 100 extra bottles of water delivered and when and where.
Sure.
And so that was my job. And I know that we can do that even better next year.
That's an interesting service. That's really cool. Was it 7 open walkies, or how did you do that? Okay. Yeah.
Which is not the most elegant way to do it.
But it gets it done.
With cellular push-to-talk, there's not the infrastructure that there is, in a world like where you would have, if we did this with CP200s, we would have probably like a base station that could listen to all 7 channels and, rotate where needed, have an auto scan, etc. Feature like that. But yeah, with this infrastructure, this cellular push to talk, it was really the best and fastest way to do it, was to just have 7 open channels.
Totally. No. That's totally cool. Very cool. All right, Nate, it is great to see you. Thank you for telling us about that. If you don't mind snapping, we will get back to Nick.
Yeah, let's bring Nick back.
Thanks, Nate. Really cool stuff.
That is cool. Yeah, very cool.
All right, so some update on the landscape of location sound. Analog Waves is buying Professional Sound Corp out of California. So Ryan Pedersen, whom you may have seen here as a guest previously on Gotham Sound TV, or some of the NAB coverage. So Ryan is now the CEO of Analog Waves and PSC. So Production Sound Mixers, also Richard Bullock and Devontre Curley are also the new owners. I believe they'll still be out and about in terms of their role. So they're going to be really providing a lot of valuable, information in terms of how the products are applicably being used and things and ways to improve it. Ron is going to be staying on as well for the research and development side and engineering. So I'm quite excited to see like Bluetooth come or something. PSC has been cooking for a long time, in my personal opinion. So I think this is just going to take it this
to
is
the
what
next
4.0.
level.
Opinion.
I completely agree, TK. It's so cool. So cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
So much cool stuff is revolving around Analog Waves since they kind of opened their offices, or at least we knew they opened their offices. And I've definitely talked with Ryan and Devendra recently, and I'm pretty sure I've talked with Richard before, and they're a great bunch of folks. And so it'll be interesting to see what they do with the super sound team-ups.
Yeah. Very cool. I got a moment of sadness to talk about, which is a mentor of mine passed away. Nick Doob, documentary camera person and director. He gave me arguably my first real kind of documentary job at in college, actually sophomore year. He said, I remember towards the end of it, he said, "Hey, my wife and I are doing a doc about addiction, and we're traveling the country. Would you like to do sound?" It's been a 40-plus year relationship ever since. I've gotten to, in fact, hire him for a doc that I produced, and I definitely, he inspired me to teach, and one of the joys was to invite him into my class that I teach. To give a lesson with his co-director Sherry Cookson, and I recently he was sick and he recently passed. So, thank you, Nick. When we sort of talked about this story, we said, what sound-related stories are there about Nick? And I got one that on the doc that one of the docs that I worked with him on. This would have been in '92. He was still shooting on his Eclair camera, and it was one of the first times that we had worked together using his sound kit, which was a Stellavox recorder and a light stand as a boom pole, if I remember right. But so him shooting this is in California, just because that's where the shoot was. And I remember we were outside, we were filming Frank Gehry and Klaus Oldenburg having a conversation. And I'm kind of coming around his head, like from behind him. And this was like frame 1 of the shoot. And he reaches up from his camera and he pulls, well, he would have reached from his left hand, and he pulls the pole down. And then he pushed it just up a little bit. And that, he was telling me that's where his frame was. I don't think I was that far off, but you know, afterwards he said, no, if the sound is no good, the picture's no good. And that stuck with me. Rarely happened. You know, the only other times that it ever happened like that was with other documentary camera people, even like when they were shooting narrative. And I thought that was really cool. And then on that same doc, so this was a doc about Frank Gehry and Klaus Oldenburg, and they were talking about the binocular building in Venice, California. And I think it was Frank Gehry is talking about the inspiration for the binocular building. If you haven't seen it, it's a giant pair of binoculars that's a building.
Okay.
Like that's what it is. And he said, yeah, my inspiration for this was the opening of the movie Airplane, when the airplane comes crashing through the waiting area there. And as he's telling this story, I could hear Nick's camera flap out, roll out. And so Nick is down for the count, and he goes and he's reloading, and he comes back, and I'm like, Nick, you'll never believe this crazy story that this high-end this artist told. The inspiration is this super lowbrow film, Airplane. Like, I can't believe it. I rolled on it the whole time. I hope you can use it. Sure enough, it's like one of the opening moments of the film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so super powerful sound lessons to learn. But yeah, I definitely, he always, he's an incredible human being, incredible camera person. Gonna miss him.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Peter.
Thanks for listening to that, you guys and everybody else out there.
Well, on that note, thank you, Peter, again. Thank you, TK. Thank you for joining us and watching to the end. So we will not be doing a July wrap-up. We instead will be doing a combined one at the end of August. So enjoy your summer fun. We'll have other things coming, so you can check out more videos like this at gothamsound.tv. You can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and whatever else we come up with whenever you watch this video. And as always, if you have any questions or would like to contact us, we're available. info@gothamsound.com, and have a fantastic summer.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, TK.
Thank you, TK.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Deuces.
It's coming home. To Africa!
Great.
No, seriously, we have 9 nations. Well, actually 8. One got knocked out yesterday.
Nice.